From City Skylines to SimCity, these two game series are widely considered as the best in the city building world. But have you ever heard of Anno? From the first Anno game released in 1998, it was actually a pretty cool city building game that allowed you to settle different islands in a world map. And it eventually grew into like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I can colonize Asia and underwater? I mean, like, I'm not complaining, that's pretty sick. Wait, the fucking moon? Anno 2205 was a pretty mediocre game, but after Anno 2205 came Anno 1800, and everyone loved Anno 1800. But the new Anno games are pretty boring, I can't lie. Don't get me wrong, Anno 1800 and Anno 117 are both masterpieces, but they will never compare, in my personal opinion, to Anno 2070. Not only is Anno 2070 set in the future, it primarily perfected what was the definitive Anno experience at the time, which was Anno 1404. I saw in a recent Reddit post that describes the situation of Anno 2070, where Anno 2070 is basically the depressed brother of Anno 1404, and I've never seen a better way to describe Anno 2070's atmosphere more nicely. It's more depressing, less discovery, and more rebuilding from the ground up. Even the background and setting of the game describes a post-apocalyptic world where sea levels rose significantly due to melting ice caps. And to be honest, I like the more serious tone of Anno 2070 compared to the more cartoonish tone of Anno 1404.
I think I've already got to destroy all of my shit because I've not organized it in any way.
If you've played Factorio before, you'll definitely know a thing or two about being organized and optimizing production, and Anno games are no different. Space is essential in Anno 2070, and in all Anno games to be honest, but space is essential because you don't settle in very large continents, you settle on really tiny small islands. There are two main factions in Anno 2070 and both affect how much space you use up in certain islands. One is really dirty in their production but saves a lot of space, and another one is really clean in their production but wastes so much space. Speaking of dirty and clean production, in Anno 2070, the main focus of the game is around climate change and the environment, and there is an element to the game that is called eco balance. It's basically the environment's health indicator, and it can raise or lower production of buildings or income from residents depending on how good or bad your eco balance is. Basically, the higher your eco balance is, the better your environment is. The lower the eco balance is, you know, let's just hope that your citizens don't have asthma, okay? But anyways, as Sun Tzu once said, whilst he was playing Anno 2070 in 2011 AD, space is important. Please make sure to utilize as much of the space as you can on your islands. And even if you didn't get the islands you had wanted,
I hate you with every ounce of my being, Dr. Bartok.
it's totally fine. Just buy the island. You can do that. Just buy the necessary amount of stocks that you need and get the island for free. I mean, you will declare war on your enemy, but that's fine. You can deal with that. Or do the petty method and nuke him. I won't blame you for nuking him. And even then, you really don't even need to use nukes to wipe out islands. You could just as easily use the Navy and the Air Force to wipe out your enemies. I guarantee you, there are several new strategies that you can use to kill off the NPCs. And even then, not to mention, there is a multiplayer mode, so I guarantee you, playing with friends will be even more fun than playing by yourself at 3 AM in the morning. Speaking of friends, if you need to convince them to play Anno 2070, Anno 2070 is only $8 when it's on sale. It's only 5GB big, and Anno 2070 doesn't need a NASA computer to run the game. The only problem is that it's old. And to be honest, an old game doesn't really mean it's a bad game, especially when the game is from 2011. 2011 is not considered as one of the best years in gaming without a reason. So many good games released in that year. To be honest, I think Anno 2070 isn't as popular as, say, Anno 1404, primarily because Anno 2070 released in November, possibly the worst time for a video game series like Anno to come out with a new entry. It had to compete against games like Battlefield 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Skyrim, Uncharted 3, Portal 2, and even Minecraft. Who the fuck would want to buy a mediocre looking city building game when instead you can fuck around with motion controls in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword?
Okay, so here, I have to cut vertically. Woo! Oh. Great.
Take my money, Nintendo. So, what are you waiting for? Just buy Anno 2070 right now and play it for the rest of time. But what if you don't have the internet? If you've happened to become unfortunately disconnected from the internet, don't play Anno 2070, that's probably its biggest flaw. The offline mode in Anno 2070 doesn't somehow save your keybind settings, and you can't even use the Arc for any resources you have. But that's Anno 2070's only major complaint. So, why not give Anno 2070 a try?